All right, this is a little bit of an instructional thing. Jay-Z asked me to do it, although I don't see Jay-Z here. Bad. Remember to smack his wrist later if I can bend over that far. First, we're going to make a folder. We're just going to call it clips. By the way, this is Kdenlive. It's the name of the software. It's video editing software. This is massively powerful stuff. Kden is great. It's also free. This is open source software, not just good. Like, it's from GitHub. This is awesome stuff. You don't have to download it from GitHub. They have a website that you can install an installation binary. So it installs like every other Windows application. This is a really good though. It's a little wonky to use because it kind of has like an older sort of approach to how things are done. The workflow is a little older, which makes me think that the guys that are developing it are probably in their late 40s, early 50s. I mean, I don't know that for sure. It might just be their specific design choices. I don't know. I don't know anything about the development team for this. I know that it's one of the most powerful pieces of video editing software I've ever used. And it is, again, free to obtain, free to use. You can get the source code for it and change it if you want to. It's open. Let's see. Okay, so I got a clips folder here. We're going to, let's import a clip. ID2. This one. All right, there's the clip. Yeah, that's fine. We're actually going to change the format of this as soon as I remember how. Actually, how long is this? This is, yeah, it's only 32 seconds, which means this qualifies for a short. I'm sorry. That is really annoying. Okay. First thing I need is settings. Under project settings. Here we go. We're going to change this to I want it the other way, right? I want it for a mobile format because I'm doing a short things. Vertical HD 30 FPS. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to all right, so let's talk about this. Kden here. There we go. Okay. This is the clip that you currently have selected, or the asset that you currently have selected. This could be a sound file or whatever, right? This is a two-channel video. It's got video and audio attached to it. So you see both here in this preview pane. This pane on the right-hand side is the actual movie that you're making. This is where everything's going to be. So we're going to drag this clip down to the timeline. And you see it immediately groups the two things together. It automatically separates the audio and video and then ties them together. You could select it, and you see they're both selected in orange, and that locks them together. You could actually click these, and you can select ungroup clips to be able to move them independently. Obviously, there's very few reasons you would want to do that. We're going to group them back up again here. Okay. All right. So we're going to, we're actually going to shift this. We're going to do this. We're going to pull it out just a little bit to like 1 second. We'll zoom in quite a bit here. Okay, that's not seconds. That's microseconds. We're gonna. It's a little touchy about. There we go. On the 1 second mark. Now you can't see it, and this kind of stuff is a little bit. This is where the learning curve comes in. There's a tiny dot right here. If you click this and drag it to the right, this is actually the fader. This will let you fade the video in. So we're going to fade it in over the course of about a full second. We're going to control zoom in again so that we can actually see where a second is. I may have severely overshot the thing. There's 1 minute. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those are actual seconds. I can't tell. Yeah, they're microseconds. Okay. That's about a full second. Okay. And we're gonna do the same thing on the backside. We're gonna fade it out. And we're gonna do that exactly the same way. Now this finishes at 33:18. We're gonna just bring it down to 33. A little further. 32:24 is close enough to a full second for me. All right, now, obviously just having a video, in there is, that, okay, I have a recorded clip that I recorded in OBS. I put it in the editor. I got to fade in and fade out. Technically, I got a video, right? But no, that's not why we do video editing. We want to add some stuff to it, right? Now, Kden comes with a whole bunch of stuff you can use. But I'm not going to give it. Actually, Kden has an AI tool built into it, I believe. But I don't like using AI tools. I like working this stuff out myself. So Jesus, let's. We're gonna add some text. So we're gonna make another folder. We're gonna call it text, obviously. Now this doesn't call it text though. This you have to click here. You click, what is it, up here? Nope, that's make more folders. Here we go. It's called add title clip. And it brings up this. So then we can just click anywhere in the title clip and we can just say new intro riff. Okay. And we're going to create title. Okay, now that we can put this right on the timeline again, right? So when these start, we're actually going to move that in just a little bit. Okay. There we go. And we can also fade this in the same way, right? We can just drag this bad boy in, and then I can slide it right back here so that it matches the faded, actually fade it all the way in, and then just extend the length of this bad boy, probably to the end of the video clip, and then we'll bring this back. Okay. Okay, actually, remember when I said there's very little reason to ever disjoint these, and I'm going to do it right now because I just had a really good idea. So we're going to ungroup these, okay? And I'm going to fade this out here. I'm going to drag this one That's the wipe. I don't want that. I guess maybe you can't. Okay. And then I want to add a new. If I can get that to go in the folder. There we go. I want to add another title clip. Right, and we're just going to put the stream URL in there. That's http://www.twitch.tv/keepsworks. That's pretty big. It doesn't all fit. So let's make it a little bit smaller. We'll just can I, oh good, I can just change the zoom level. I don't even have to change the font size. Perfect. I want the center aligned. Okay, now we create title, and we're going to drag that in. We're not going to drag it in yet. I need another track. We're going to insert a track for. When you insert a new track, it asks you what kind of track you want. If you have a video track, an audio track, or an audio video track. These are audio video tracks, and if you're importing a video that has audio attached to it, you have to select a V track or it will not import videos correctly. So we're going to do a video track, and we're going to put the title clip here. Right about there. That's really small, and I'm not a huge fan. Also, I want to move it down to about here, and we're gonna bring the zoom back up a little bit. That's a little bit better. Okay, I still need to fix the centering now. It's a little bit weird, you know, how this works. Like I said, it's a tiny bit wonky, and the learning curve is pretty steep, but it is definitely worth it to learn. And we're going to bring this out to about 40 seconds. Actually, there's no reason I can't go to exactly 40 seconds, since I've got a really accurate time bar there. We'll zoom back out. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to change this fade out for the text, for the where it says new intro riff at the top. I don't like it. It's a little boring. So we're going to click this. We're actually going to bring the fade out back to zip, right? And this will let me show off some of the how you edit things with this tool. So we're going to first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the timeline object, and we're going to go to compositions, and we're going to look for transform. Okay, this bad boy here. I actually have it favorited, so I have it right here. But when you first start using this program, obviously you won't have any favorites. So you want to grab the transform. You can right click it to favorite it. Okay, and then just drag it down to here. Okay, and it creates this little bar. This bar is the active area where the transform begins. So we're actually gonna extend this the entire length of the thing, of the lifetime of the object. Okay, and now you have this over here in this area here. This is the editor for the particular composition that you have, which I don't like using composition for that. Like, I don't understand why they call it. For me, they're effects. For me, a composition is a completed piece, but you know, just because of music. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into about. Okay, at this point, I pull the pick out of my mouth, I tap a couple of times, and then I start playing here. So here I'm going to add a keyframe. And this is what makes this really powerful. Keyframing is an incredibly important part of editing. Um, and I mean, I know newer editors maybe don't use keyframing as their method of animating stuff, but it's how I'm used to it from using like Macromedia Flash Studio back in the early 2000s when Macromedia still owned Flash and Flash was still relevant. Okay. Um, Actually, I don't need that keyframe just yet. We're gonna. Why can't? Oh, I gotta click this and delete it. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. We're gonna transform it by moving its position Y up. Okay. So that it's out of the way. And then we'll come to here. Now we'll add our keyframe. And now I'll move ahead a little bit, and I'll add a new keyframe where I move the Y position back down. Okay. And now I'll come to like here, ish, wherever this starts to fade in, right? And I'll add a new keyframe. And I'm going to move forward a tiny bit and add another keyframe. And this time the position X, I'm going to roll. If I can get it to cooperate. There we go. We're going to just swipe it right off screen. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? We got to set the keyframe type to smooth. Smooth, not smooth or deprecated. So we want that. Okay. Now, let's see what we got. Oh, that doesn't work. Maybe it does. Nice. So that's actually pretty cool. It needs a little bit of help by moving this back just a smidgen. I actually want to just start fading this in right when I hit that long note on the end. Okay, so we're going to move it to about there. Keyframes are basically a user-defined important place on the timeline of the video. So it's a keyframe is specific to that very microsecond, honestly, depending on the accuracy of the program you're using. This particular program does support microseconds, so wherever I put a keyframe, it will remember that place, and it kind of creates a copy of the object in memory right there. And then on the next keyframe, okay, further down the timeline, I may have changed that object in some way. I changed its positioning, I changed its size, I changed its color, something, anything. You can change any aspect of it. And between those two keyframes, the program will figure out what's called the tweening, which is basically how to transition from one place to the next so that everything is smooth and it looks animated, which is how the title text here at the top where it says new intro riff slides down and then slides off screen. Yeah, it's a keyframe. It's just an important place. This is where I'm doing something. Everything else is not. Just display the things as per the usual. Don't have to think about it. And this will all get baked into the video when it's done. The keyframes are only really important for the editor, not so much the finished product. All right, so let's do. Again, we're going to bring this out to 40 seconds. I really want the video to be 40 seconds long. So, all right, now And then I come to here, right? As this fades out, I will put another transform right here. And just to show you how this works, I'm not going to do the entire width of the thing like I did before. Okay, I'm only going to do from where it completely fades out to about the 36-second mark. Now, this particular adjuster only adjusts between those places. So here, we have our base keyframe, because that one's a gimme. We're going to put another keyframe here after we set it to smooth. Okay, and what we're going to do is change the Y position. Oop, I need to come up. Well, that didn't work. Right, let's try. We're going to put it here. We'll create a keyframe. We'll type smooth. And then we'll come to here. And we'll create another smooth keyframe. And again, we will adjust the width, or the height rather. I see what's happening. I think. No, this is right. No, that's not working at all. That's super weird. What? All right, let's remove it. Try that again. This obviously isn't fucking working. Okay, so when you do it from your favorites, it does a little bit something different. It adds it to the track effects instead of as an effect between layers. This is probably the way I should have done it, to be honest. Um, and now this is the entire width of the thing. So we're gonna, as I get to here, I want to create a smooth keyframe. We're gonna set this to smooth as well. Not that you really need to. And then at here, I want to create a new keyframe where its Y position. There we go. Is about even with the center of the screen. Okay. That's it. And then I'll fade it out. Okay. That's actually pretty nice. I like that. Okay. So now we're going to go to this track. And we're going to, again, add the transform right to it instead of this wipe thing, or not the wipe thing, this one. Because I want to, I actually want to make it larger. Zoom? Well, yeah, there's a scale. Okay, cool. That's not really affecting it the way I want it to, though. It's probably because of the other transform that's on it. Oh, I'm dumb. That's the other text layer. This is the one I want to put the transform on. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to set the scale. There we go. I want something clean. We don't do we don't do decimals with our percents because that creates subpixel problems and it renders like shit. So you don't need to see like all of my numbers out there. All right, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna call that done. That's good enough for the short I wanted to make. And realistically, I'm only doing this because I want to. Jay Z asked me to demonstrate some of the video editing software that I'm using because he's interested in it. And I'm all about people learning. So if you want to learn how to do this, by all means, jump in. This program is free. So now we're going to go to project. Let's actually save it first. Let's save as. We're going to save it as intro short riff. Where am I? I'm in the specific. That's fine. All right, now we're going to go to project and we're going to render it. Well, we're going to project settings first. Where's my Kden stuff? There it is. Okay. That's fine. That's fine too. And we're gonna render it. This will take a minute. Output file here. We actually don't want it there. We want it again in the D drive on the Kden videos folder. New stream intro riff. And we're going to save it. And we're just going to render the file. This will take a few minutes. It is encoding an entire video from scratch with all of the instructions I gave it. It shouldn't take too long though. It's only a 40-second video. We're almost there. Okay, we're done. Now I should close that. And I can minimize this. Now I can go to my Kden folder. And I should be able to see it. It just feels weird to watch. All right, cool. So now what do we do? Well, now you go to YouTube. create. We're going to upload a video. We'll bring this over here. And you just drag and drop your new video right into this box. Okay, I didn't make a thumbnail for it, and I probably should, but I'm not super worried about it because it's just a short, and shorts will just come up in people's doom scrolling. So like, it should be fine. It's not made for kids. None of my content is made for kids. I will never advertise being made for kids. I don't want that on my channel. I drop a lot of F-bombs and stuff, so I don't want kids to come to my channel and then find a different video where it was less than appropriate for families. Okay, this does not contain any paid promotions. It is not altered content in that it does not contain any AI content. Or it's not depict anything that didn't really happen. You are not talking to yourself, FNAF. I can see chat, and we're still doing this. You're fine. We're going to tags. 1 second. All right. Tags. Guitar. Streaming. That's not how you spell that. Twitch. All right, and then we'll do. This needs a. Okay, I don't want to use this. Well, actually, that's fine. I can use that as a title. That's fine. We're not going to allow embedding, and we're not going to publish this subscription to feed to notify my subscribers. I want them to find it naturally in the wild, because this can actually hurt you, especially as your audience starts to get bigger. You definitely want to be unchecking this. Talking about finishing up the video and uploading it to YouTube now, FNAF, because I'm almost done. I mean, this part you should be familiar with. You've done this. But if you're not familiar, definitely uncheck this box, publish the subscription feed, and notify subscribers. Because what happens is the algorithm will feed your video only to your subscribers first, and then if they don't really interact with it much, then it won't bother pushing your video to anybody else. So always uncheck this so that it starts at scratch and just lets it out into the shorts feeds. And it looks like I'm going to have an ad break here in 18 seconds. Which, if I had my thing open, I could. Yeah, you always want it out in the wild. And then always sort by newest, not top, because the top comments thing is broken. And then we hit next. We're not going to bother with related videos or subtitles. There should not be any copyright issues. It's my original song. This video is going to be public. You can schedule it here. And for most long form content, I definitely, or if you have a release schedule for your shorts, then definitely use this. Because we're just doing demonstrative purposes here on, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to make it public immediately. I do use this quite a bit though. I usually push my videos out at like 9 a.m. Or noon. depending on the type of video it is and what audience I'm trying to attract. Like sometimes I'm looking for people that are on lunch break at work. Sometimes I'm looking for people on their way to school or work. So it just depends. It's fine. Here's what it looks like on YouTube. Yes, FNAF. That is my original music. Sorry, I dropped my mic. I'm sure you guys can hear it, but I actually can't, which is a minor issue. So give me just a second to fix that. You know what? I probably should show you guys how to do this. This is pretty cool. You go into your control panel and you go to sound. You go to recording. You go to where your device is plugged in, which this is my amplifier plugged in via USB to my computer, right? You just want to double click it. Go to the listen tab. Apply. And then check listen to this device. Apply. Now I can hear it in my headphones. And that's pretty much how you do it. Oh yeah, I'm totally wearing a Dragon Ball shirt. Almost all of my shirts are either Dragon Ball Z or My Hero Academia. Almost all. Your FNAF, if your parents are about my age, this should get their attention. I am 42 years old. I will be 43 at the end of the year. And that song is Hell's Bells from AC/DC. So, yes, I'm sure if your dad is even remotely near my age, and he can hear the music, he was bopping a little bit. Okay, I don't know how to play Wild Thing. I'm sure I could find out, but it's not from Major League. It was used by Major League. That song is older than the movie. I'm sure he still listens to some AC/DC in his 50s. Or unless he does some old school country, Let me see what I can do about that. Well, I gotta fix my... I know what you meant, Sports Geek. I was just giving a shit because I can, and because I was there. A little more drive. I'm not playing Rush E, you mad people. Absolutely not. One, I don't know how. And two, it's not even worth learning. So understand that when you're writing music for a video game, the rules are mostly the same, but only a tiny bit different. But where it's different is actually really important. Most video games do not have lyrics. Most. I say most because there are a few exceptions. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance has a full metal track behind the entire game, and there are people singing, and it is thematically appropriate for so. But for most games, that is not the case. The music is not an attractor to the game. The music is there to complement the game. The gameplay should be the attractor. And my game is no different. So when you're writing music for a game, you have to understand that while you don't have lyrics, you still have to have a lead melody. Okay, and I have to recreate the idea of a voice in the song with an instrument. And once you understand that your voice is also an instrument, it's not as difficult. But you still have to figure out how you want that all to play together, and it is a little bit jarring sometimes. So me learning how to play Rush E isn't really effective for my cause. Warframe's videos have lyrics. The music that plays during the missions do not. I don't think, anyway, unless some of the new missions do. The new missions do? What, in
1999 missions.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because online's playing in the background. Okay, so again, that's thematically important for Warframe, because in Hulvania, the it's that whole grunge metal era that I got to live through, and yeah, it is thematically appropriate there for the music to have lyrics, but it isn't very loud and it's not super noticeable.
During the 1999 quest,
No.
there were metal songs playing.
Yeah, during the quest there was too, and they were actually louder during the quest. Yeah, because again, a quest is or the missions in the codex are um, a little more lore important because they are revealing parts of the story. So yeah, they made the lore very much a part of the quest by adding the music and making it a little louder. But again, typically speaking, games don't have lyrics in the music. Yeah, no, there are guys that can make their guitar sound like they can talk. I am not one of those guys. Now I've been playing for a long time, but I've never been super dedicated about it. I play, you know, I've been playing guitar since probably I was about 14 or 15 or so, maybe younger. I don't really remember when I first picked one up. Um, but I was, again, never super dedicated. I always had other stuff going on. I moved about the country. I didn't always have a guitar. So it's only really since I've been married to the wife that I've had, a guitar steadily. And actually, she bought it for me before we even got married. My Stratocaster, anyway. My pretty girl. Here. Yes, I'm stroking my guitar. Judge me. I don't care. Let me just refresh this real quick. I want to see. Nobody's liked my video. Fuck you guys. What are friends for? Okay, this one's got 12 views. This one's got 0. That's fine. I'm actually gonna just private that one. I wanted to make it 40 seconds. It's 41. Jesus. It's probably just a hair over 40 seconds and round it up. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to do a stream about video editing real quick. It ended up being a little bit longer than I planned on. I may stream again later tonight. But for now, I need to go have dinner and stuff because I haven't ate yet today. And the wife's going to get big mad at me pretty soon. So. All right. I will see you guys later. Thank you all for coming, joining me, getting my metrics to look a little nicer. Yes, FNAF, you are still adopted. That is never changing. We have a bath towel, or not a bath. We have a hand towel in the bathroom that has Stitch on it, and all it says is Ohana means family, means nobody is left behind. All right. Peace.